Have you ever found yourself explaining something over and over again, trying so desperately to make someone understand, only to realize they weren't listening at all? You speak with honesty. You repeat your words with care, but they only seem to hear what their own mind has already decided is true. It's a frustrating, draining experience. But what if the most powerful response isn't more words, but fewer? This is a story about a man who discovered a truth far stronger than any argument. Sometimes, your silence speaks volumes more than your words ever could. In a peaceful village nestled between emerald hills and lazy rivers, there lived a humble lantern maker named Elias Rowan. Elias was a gentle soul, known for his patience and soft-spoken nature. His hands were skilled, crafting lanterns that glowed with the warmth of a sunset, steady, comforting, and honest. The villagers loved his work, but not everyone loved the man who made them. Across the cobblestone road lived Gerald Morton, the village tax officer. Gerald was sharp-tongued, proud, and carried a cloud of suspicion wherever he went. He believed everyone had something to hide, and he was especially convinced that the quiet lantern maker, Elias, was no exception. One day, in the middle of the bustling marketplace, Gerald's voice cut through the chatter. "Your lanterns are overpriced," he barked at Elias. "Your light is not worth the coins you ask for." Elias, ever so patient, just smiled softly. He tried to explain. He spoke of the fine, delicate glass he used, the rare oils that burned so cleanly, the hours spent carefully shaping each wooden frame. But his words fell on deaf ears. Gerald didn't listen. He just smirked, turned his back, and walked away, leaving a trail of whispers behind him. And as we all know, whispers travel fast in a small village. Days turned into weeks, and weeks faded into months. Elias found himself caught in a loop. He kept trying to explain his honesty, to defend his name against the growing rumors. But the more he explained, the more twisted the stories became. "Elias must be greedy," someone would murmur. "I heard he hides his money in the back of his workshop," another would add. His words, meant to clarify, were like seeds carried by a harsh wind. They never found fertile soil to grow in. Night after night, Elias would sit by his small fire, watching his own lanterns flicker with a gentle, steady light. "Why can't they see the truth?" He'd whisper to himself. "Why must I keep explaining what is already so clear inside my heart?" He felt exhausted, misunderstood, and utterly alone in his struggle. Then one morning, a traveler arrived, a wise old monk passing through the hills on his journey. The villagers, eager for blessings and advice, crowded around him. Elias, feeling a pull of desperation, quietly approached the monk. "Sir," he whispered, his voice heavy with fatigue, "I try my best to be an honest man. You don't know the blur. Yet no matter how much I explain myself, people twist my words. What can I do to make them understand me?" The monk looked at Elias with kind, knowing eyes. He asked a simple question. If a man decides the sky is green, what color is the sky to him? Elias frowned, thinking for a moment. "Well, he will still believe it is green." The monk then asked softly, "Then, will all your explanations change the color he sees with his eyes?" Elias lowered his head, the weight of the monk's words settling upon him. "No, I don't think they will." The monk placed a warm, reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Then stop explaining colors to those who refuse to see. Let your work, your actions, speak for you. Silence is not weakness. Silence is peace wearing its strongest armor." And with a quiet bow, the monk continued on his way. Elias stood perfectly still, but something inside him had shifted. It wasn't hope that he lost, but an old, burning the pain of constantly seeking validation from those who would never give it. From that day forward, Elias changed. He stopped defending himself. He stopped arguing. He stopped chasing approval that was never his to begin with. When Gerald mocked him in public, Elias would simply offer a polite bow. When others whispered lies as he passed, he would only smile. One afternoon, Gerald shouted across the square, "See, he has no words left. He knows he's a fraud." But Elias didn't reply. Instead, He returned to his workshop and continued his work calmly, silently, with a newfound devotion. His actions became his voice. Each evening, he placed a single, beautifully crafted lantern outside his shop. Night after night, that lantern burned longer and brighter than any other in the entire village. Travelers passing through began to notice. They spoke of its light, describing it as warm, trustworthy a light that felt like it came from a good and honest heart. Soon, people from distant towns started journeying to the village just to buy Elias's lanterns. They didn't come because of his words or his explanations, but because of the gentle, undeniable truth his light carried. One evening, a situation unfolded that no one expected. Gerald Morton, the very man who had tormented Elias, found himself in need of a lantern. His own had broken. Embarrassed yet stubborn, he walked into Elias's quiet, glowing shop. He placed 3 coins firmly on the wooden table. I need one for my porch," he muttered, avoiding eye contact. Elias simply nodded. He handed Gerald one of his finest lanterns and said, with no bitterness, no hint of "I told you so. Only peace. May its light serve you well." Days later, villagers would see a strange sight. Gerald standing outside his own home in the twilight, just staring at the soft, steady glow of Elias's lantern. He didn't say a word, but you could see it in his eyes. Something had changed. He finally understood. He had not been convinced by arguments or debates. He was convinced by the undeniable quality, the unwavering light that shone right before his eyes. Truth, he was learning, does not need to shout to be heard. Weeks passed and Elias's shop glowed brighter than ever, a beacon of quiet integrity in the village. He still spoke kindly to everyone he met, but he never explained himself again. If someone misunderstood him, he let him. If someone doubted him, he smiled and let it be. His silence became his protection. His peace became his wealth. And his light, the light from his lanterns, became his true voice. One night, as he was placing his customary lantern outside his door, a young boy who admired him asked, "Mr. Elias, why do your lanterns shine so beautifully?" Elias looked down at the child, a warm smile gracing his lips. "Because some lights, Isaid softly, are born from the quietest places inside of us." And beside him, the lantern on the post flickered warmly, as if it was agreeing with every word. The story of Elias teaches us a profound lesson. You do not owe anyone an explanation for who you are. Those who are meant to be in your life will see your light without needing you to constantly defend it. And those who are determined to misunderstand you will never be convinced, no matter how many words you use. Stop draining your energy, trying to paint the sky blue for those who are determined to see it as green. Instead, tend to your own garden. Focus on your own light. Let your actions, your integrity, and your peace speak for you. In the end, your truth will shine on its own, and it will be seen by everyone who is meant to see it. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content. That helps us navigate life with a little more peace and wisdom. We'll see you in the next one.